So thanks, Neena, so much for joining me and congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know, usually I would like to introduce a guest in detail myself, but after having gone through your book, I've realized that, you know, you're at that space now where I think you should introduce yourself the way you would like to be introduced. I think you reached that point where you can now turn around and say, you know, this is how you perceived me all these times, but this really is the me. So please go ahead, introduce yourself today, Neena.
So hi, I'm Neena Gupta here. You have seen me a lot these past few months, and now I have come up with my book, which is called Sach Kahun Toh, and I have tried to be as honest as possible, and I hope you like the book. And please get your copies from Amazon or a bookstore also. Now the bookstores are also open, and give me your comments on Instagram how you liked it. So I always like to read the comments and see what people think about my book. So that's my introduction.
So there are lots of comments. Lots of comments coming, which is why your face is already hidden before you even started this conversation, Neena. So I know that you're really pressed for time, and I know it's easier getting a book out than the promotions. I've been on that side, so I'm not going to really waste time, and I'm going to dive right in. You know, one of the most poignant parts from that book for me was when you spoke about the Nainital Boat Club. You know, having gone there, my mother lived, you know, she grew up in Nainital, so I know all this. But having grown up and, you know, every holiday in Nainital and looking from the outside at the boat club. And as you talk about how it was only recently that, you know, you went with Vivek and his family or some friends and you finally got inside the club. What was your emotion at that point? I mean, it was a long journey to that point, Neena.
Actually, it's very interesting that you took out this point, because it was really so I don't have a word to explain the kind of feeling I got. And I told my cousins and my I said, do you know how I used to look at this place like hasrat bari nigahon se? I never thought I'll be able to get in, because our lifestyle was so different. But it was like, and one corner, and I just sat. I don't have words to explain what I felt. I just wish that my family was there with me. You know, my mother and brother and my father, because we all used to pass by, you know, that club. Yeah, there's no word for the feeling I had at that time.
No, it was actually really wonderful. Tell me, why did you go about writing the book now? I mean, a lot of women in your place would have said, just in a sense, let sleeping dogs just lie. You know, why confront issues? And you've been very honest in your book. You've also been very fair in your book. You know, you haven't pointed fingers, you haven't blamed anybody. You've just said this is how it was. You know, unfortunately, the journey was long. But why did you think about writing it?
I didn't. I tried many times to write over the past 15, 20 years actually, and I just couldn't write. I used to get stuck. I think one reason I could write was also lockdown, because I was not doing anything and I was thinking about my life. You know, I think now I feel that hidden reason why I wanted to write the book. I did not know when I started to write, but slowly I realized, because I want to tell people that this is me, not Neena Gupta is not what you have heard from tabloids or gossip columns, etc., etc. But this is real me. And also this whole thing of, I'll tell you a very important thing. There's this whole thing of Neena Gupta has lived life on her own terms. Neena Gupta is brave. Neena Gupta is strong. Tell me one person. I have not met one person who has lived life on their own terms. Not one person. What I did, so I'll tell you what I did. What I have written in the book also. But so I was very sick and tired of all this rubbish being written about me, and my image being something else and all. But now I feel very good about writing the book because I have shut many people up. I have told people who the real Neena Gupta is to some extent, to not absolutely, and that's how it is.
About that fact that, you mentioned that actually in the book, that people think you've lived it on your terms, but actually it's quite the opposite in a sense. And, I have this quote from your book as well, that it was my own inferiority complex that made me want to be invisible. This is a thread that I found continuously through the book, Neena. You came from a normal middle class family. I don't think you had any issues growing up. I mean, apart from the revelations of your parents much later in the book. But you had, I mean, there was a lot I could relate to as well. I mean, I the things that you said about sleeping on the chat. I think by the time I grew up, we were still watering the veranda, but we were not sleeping on the chat. But so I could relate to a lot of the things of having grown up in that sense. Why then was this sense so much, so much of self-deprecation in a sense?
That is what I was, and even till now I am. That's how I am. Uh, that's why I keep telling Miss Abba, the most important thing is to have self-esteem. And as you said, that it has come so much in my book. Must be true.
No, it is a book that is actually, as someone's also mentioned it here, it was from the heart. I found it was completely from the heart. But what were there issues, perhaps the industry that you were in that kind of keeps beating down the morale? Because, I have this other quote as well, that learned the hard way that everyone is only looking out for themselves. They don't wish you ill, but they don't go out of the way to wish you well either. So what did that contribute as well? Because, that's a particularly important phase of life.
But don't put it on this industry. It is everywhere.
Yeah,
This
that's true.
industry is actually much fairer than other places. You see the corporate houses, I have worked with them also, na? Because I was doing television and things like that. You see what happens there. I have mentioned also how they treated me. You remember?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Yes,
so
absolutely. So are you,
it is not this industry. Everybody is selfish. You have to think of yourself. Most of the people are self-centered. There are only few your very close people, maybe your family or sometimes not even family, who will do something for you. You have to do everything for yourself. You have to think of yourself. This is what I have understood. And then it
and
is
is there a,
not, yeah, sorry, say.
no, please carry on.
And it is everywhere, not just this film industry.
So is there a lesson that, I mean, that you gave Masaba when she was going to start her work? Like you said, you meet all kinds of people everywhere.
See, with a child, even a child is grown up, you cannot give a lesson, okay? It's slowly you feed in. They see you, how you talk to people, how you're talking on phone to somebody, how you're talking to the guests, to your relatives. That's how they learn, and that's how they imbibe things. If I tell her you sit in front of me and I'll give her a lecture, she'll run away. Now, nobody listens to you. I never listened to my mother. You know what I'm trying to say? Nobody listens to their parents at that time, at that age. And later on, everybody realizes कि वो सही बोल रहे थे, kind of thing. So I think Masaba got a lot from my behavior, actually.
Has she read the book? Has Vivek read the book?
So these are the two people who got the book the first when Penguin had sent me two books, sample books, and I gave one to Masaba and one to Vivek. Both of them have not read it as yet.
Okay. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. But I think they pretty much know what is, you must have consulted them anyway while writing the book. I think that's what really happens. I don't
No, no,
think I don't think I could read my book. You didn't?
I did not consult nobody. I was all alone. I mean, my husband was there around lockdown for 5.5 months. I used to sit and write. Sometimes I used to go to the garden over there. Sometimes I'll walk and do voice message and then write it down and all that. So, no, I didn't consult anybody. They didn't know what was in there. So both of them picked up the book and read their chapters first.
Naturally. Naturally. I was so I wanted to quickly come back to we were talking about Bollywood and you spoke about as you mentioned it that casually the casting couch and then you also elaborated it by saying that it's a choice people make, you're not being judgmental. You said no, but every time there are 10 other girls who are behind you. You also or behind anybody. And you also said the fact that you have respected the people's families by not taking their names. My question is that in an environment like now, with the Me Too as well, where everybody has been named and shamed, or if we want to improve things in the bigger scheme of things, shouldn't we be naming people going forward? I mean, to improve, I won't say the word is improve, but to bring out what really happens. How are we ever going to bring out if nobody names anybody?
What will happen if you name?
There's accountability.
What accountability? What will happen? Nothing will happen. Because there is no proof. These things happen when there is no proof. How will you prove? How will you prove? And do you think it happens in this industry? I have seen it happen everywhere. In the offices. I have seen it in front of my eyes. To save the jobs, women have to do this. So that is why what I say, that's my way of thinking. If somebody wants to name, they are most welcome. If I named anybody, then my book will be, somebody will sue or मेरी book बंद हो जाएगी. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, that of course, it becomes controversial as well, right?
Not controversial. You see, what will happen? Tell me if somebody who had wronged me, if that director who would call me to this hotel and he, what I have written in the book. If I name him today, what will happen? Maybe he's not even alive. What will happen? You know that about that guy who said nasty things, and I went to the press. Okay, I have to tell you this now. You are what answer to your question. So I got very angry at what he said because I was a nobody. He was a very known director. He said this rubbish line in front of everybody, a very bad thing. I got very angry. I came back to Bombay. I told the press what happened. I told the press. He told the press even worse things, even sickening things about me. Then I said something. Then one of my friends told me, "Are you mad? ये कीचड़ उछलता जाएगा and nobody will take you seriously. You will stop getting work because who are you? They are having fun. कि वो कुछ बोल रहा है, मैं कुछ बोल रही हूँ. Their magazines are selling. But what are you getting? बदनामी हो रही है तुम्हारी और तुम कुछ हो नहीं. So the main thing is आप तभी बोल सकते जब आप कुछ हो. जब आप कुछ नहीं होते कोई नहीं सुनता. This is the fact.
Do you think you're now in a situation where you can afford, I'm not saying go back to that, to the past or anything, but at a point, if there's something uncomfortable, would you speak up today?
I have understood another thing. I have understood to try and be safe yourself. Why do I have to go and meet somebody after 8 o'clock in a hotel room in the night? I should have called him down in the lobby. It can also happen. I was scared that if I called him in a lobby, he will not meet me because I wanted to get work. But now I think, if I had called him in the lobby and he would have refused to come to the lobby, that meant that he will not give me work. He's calling me for other reasons. So this is what I'm saying. Be safe yourself. Don't get into a situation like this. Take care. Be brave here. Not brave के हाँ मैं तेरी ऐसी की तैसी करूँ. कोई फायदा नहीं है ऐसी की तैसी. होती भी नहीं है किसी की. खुद ध्यान रखो. खुद सावधान रहो. खुद सावधान रहो.
Yeah. I think unfortunately sometimes we all have to live and learn the hard way. And I think you have lived and learned the hard way. But Neena, of course, there's another elephant in the room, and I'm only mentioning it because you have brought it up in the book, but with complete respect, to the fact that you didn't want to delve too much into your relationship with Viv Richards because of your daughter, and understandably so. So I just want to know, how do things stand now? How is Masaba's relationship with her father? Are you all, still a close-knit family in a sense?
I think this is one thing I would not like to talk about.
Fair enough. Totally understand. Totally understand. And the other thing is, of course, in your long journey, tell me, is there something that you would have liked to change?
Everything. I like to change everything. Yeah. A lot of things. Yeah. A lot of things.
No, but as they say, hindsight is 2020, Did you in a sense think that this was destiny and that you have to accept what is coming your way, or did you think in your mind did you think you were fighting it?
I did nothing of that sort. What I did, because that is my nature, it came automatically. What I did was, whatever I got, I made the most of it. I did not cry. I did not start drinking. I did not marry because I need a Sahara. I did not do all those things. But I told myself, मेरे destiny में ये अगर मुझे दिया है, which is quite good. And I am always very grateful to God. Every day, morning and evening, I pray that thank you very much for whatever you have given. So I am always grateful to what I have, and I try and enjoy it. And a very important thing about me, and even Masaba has got from me, is both of us, I can laugh at myself. Sometimes I laugh aloud if I think of something stupid I had done earlier or even now. And I laugh and I tell the walls, I said, Neena, tu kitni bewakoof hai, So I can laugh at myself and move on. I've moved on. Most important.
No, that's a talent. That's a talent, actually. Not everybody is able to do that, Neena. Tell me
but
what...
I think can do that. Everybody can do that. People might say, तुम्हारा तो इतना ये था, तुम्हारा तो ये था. हाँ था. मुझे भगवान ने ये बहुत कुछ दिया भी है. कईयों को ये भी नहीं है जो मेरे पास है. ये भी नहीं था जो मेरे पास है. But अपनी जगह में you can move on.
So how tough was it to write an autobiography? I mean, are there things that you haven't spoken about in the book as well, or have you completely written everything that you felt you should? It's a balancing act, no?
Oh God, I have this. So a lot of things I have not written which I forgot, and some of the things I have not written because I didn't want to write.
Fair enough. I mean, that's your prerogative in any case. But I know that you and Vivek have been were in Mukteshwar during the lockdown, and I know that you've spoken about the fact that you live in Bombay and he lives in Delhi, and I think he's watching this. So how were those months in lockdown when you were finally, stuck together for a long period of time?
It was very nice. If the people who are following my Instagram, I kept writing about how I learned sign language because he was always busy. So yeah, so
I
it was
related
very.
to it, completely related to it. Yes.
So it was a very very nice time we had because I learned to be with him and to be independent. You know, so I did not all the time say I मेरे को time नहीं देते हो busy रहते हो. I became busy. I was busy. Okay, and we'll meet for lunch or dinner or early morning tea. But it was very nice feeling because there was somebody around always. Maybe for him also, but we were not in each other's way because we also had a bigger house there. But I think one can manage like that. I have learned a lot how to live with a man during this
Yeah.
lockdown.
No, of course. I mean, I don't think it'd be easy because, you guys have all been independently living. You've been independent, and you and Masaba were a unit for so long that to get a man into that two women unit must not have been easy, right? But the other thing is, of course, there's one more incident I want to mention from your book, Neena. It was about this phone call that you received, and you were trying to figure out who it was, and it was Satyajit Ray on the other side. Do you recall that incident vividly?
Yes, I do. And I had a landline and I got a call, and there was this deep voice which came in. He says, "May I speak with Neena Gupta?" So I said, "Yes, speaking." He says, "I am Satyajit Ray." I didn't speak for some time. I was like in a shock. And I don't know, the next thing I spoke, my voice came was very thin kind of weak kind of voice because I could not speak also. And then he told me that I have my son is making this serial short stories, and I would like you to take part in it and send you the script. I said, yeah, sure, yeah, sure. And then I've mentioned now all that, how I felt sick and all that.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
As timings go, that was a very bad timing of things. Yes.
God, I was so ashamed of myself कि मुझे अभी बीमार पड़ना था. Why did I eat that samosa, whatever I ate? And but he used to come, and we were shooting in a house. He used to come and sit in the balcony of that house. Sandeep was directing, of course, and he will chat with me. We'll gossip about Bombay, this, that. It was like, chatting with a friend, older friend, like that. Yeah, he made me so comfortable.
Neena, I could keep going on because you've got, such wonderful experiences that you can keep speaking about. But I know that I promise to let you go within 20, and I've hit 25 minutes because I know that you have 4 other interviews lined up after this, unfortunately, because I mean, it was a wonderful book to read. And you've got, I'm going to end this with a quote of yours from the book saying, "I'm not saying I won't make the same mistakes again, but at least I know that no matter what life throws at me, I'm excellent at picking up the pieces and moving on." And, I thought that kind of just totally explains your journey till now. And, there is nothing more to be said after this, but I just want to ask you before I let you go that do you feel that success for you has come a little bit too late? And what next for Neena? I mean, I've seen you you're doing yoga, I've seen you singing, I've seen you, making that yummy chart, but what next for you now that you've reached the top?
I am doing some very nice projects. Right now, I'm doing a very nice film called Goodbye with Vikas Behel. And then I have to do second season of Masaba Masaba, second season of Panchayat, and then 2 more very beautiful films lined up also. So I've got some good work lined up for me. And you know, it's not that success has come late. Everything has happened very late in my life. This has been my destiny. Everything has happened late. But better late than never.
Better late than never. Absolutely. And as everybody says, age is just a number in our, that goes around, because I think you have completely demonstrated that, Neena, that there is no age factor, honestly. It's inspiring to see you sing. It's inspiring to see you dance. And I was telling my mother the other day, your yoga pose was definitely better than mine, the last one. So no, it really was. I'm going to go back to my yoga instructor and tell him you're not doing a good job. But it was lovely to speak with you, Neena. I wish you the very best for your book and all the best going forward. Thank you for taking out the time today. Thank you.
Jyotsna, yeah. Bye.
Thank you, Neena. Bye.